It's time for a change. And not all change is bad. Actually, most change is usually pretty good, but I'm about to change. And I'm about to do something a little bit different, something that I have never done before. There are certain things that you can do to put in place for yourselves so that you can book something similar for your own photography. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Sergio and I'm a commercial photographer here in Victoria, BC. In the next 3 months, I will still be a commercial photographer in Victoria, BC, but I will also be a professor at the Pacific Design Academy for photography students. I'll touch on how this might affect the channel in a little bit, but I'm just really excited for the ability to have this YouTube channel in real life with real students that are actually telling me what it is that they need and what it is that, or where they are in their photography journey. YouTube is great. You guys are phenomenal at letting me know what it is that you like and don't like, but I still have no idea who you are. For the most part, I don't actually see your face when you're reacting to a video that I made, or when you click off a video because I said something stupid. You're just like, I don't notice these things. I don't know who you are. So having this feedback with real students and real people in front of me is going to help me be a better educator as a teacher or as someone who is asked to do certain things. I remember back when I was in school or even just in junior high and things like that. If you understand, let's say, a math problem more, and then you teach it to your friends to tell them how it is that they did it, you're going to further understand that knowledge. I've always found that teaching what it is that I do know, let's say I know it at 50%, after teaching it to someone else, I'll know it at 51%. And it's just something that helps us as photographers when we're building this craft or when we're working on understanding more and more of this seemingly endless level of things to learn. I'm not saying that everyone who watches this is a beginner. If anything, because I teach more of a business side of photography, I'm sure most of you have actually been shooting for quite a while and you understand quite a bit of things. You're just looking for those extra little nuances and maybe those little nuggets that I might drop throughout a video. That's what we kind of work for. That's what we kind of strive for. I think this job as a teacher is maybe not something that all of us might want as photographers, and it's not something that you're necessarily going to go out and look for. But like I said at the start of the video, it just kind of fell onto my lap. And I want to tell you how it is that happened, because I'm always telling you guys that if you don't have enough work, go network. If no work, then network. Click the video here. I go further into detail on it. It didn't do that well, actually, and I quite liked that video, do that well. It didn't reach as many people as I would have hoped, and I think there's some very valuable information in it. And that's the core of it, is you have to grow that network. You have to grow the people that know who you are as a photographer. Even if you think that the other portrait photographer might be stealing jobs from you, they're probably not. It's probably in your head. More restaurants in a city will mean that more people will go out to eat food. It doesn't mean that the same amount of people are going to be diluted on all the restaurants. There's obviously a little give and take, but overall, more services will increase the amount of people using those services. Having more lanes does not remove traffic, it increases traffic. So by that logic, having more photographers that offer the same service will have more people booking for that service. One of the biggest secrets or things that I really wasn't aware of when I was first starting out is that other photographers are going through the same thing as you are. They might be struggling as much as you are, and they're dealing with the same kind of issues that you are, much more so than any other genre or field that you can think of. So befriend these people. Be on their good side rather than just trying to be in your own lane, doing your own thing where it's like, oh, well, if I'm successful, then nobody else can be successful or whatever. I booked this job because I went to a creative meetup, and I always say that it's who you know, and the people, my biggest jobs always come from a friend of a friend of a friend, but that doesn't mean that I knew all of these people when I was first starting out. That doesn't mean that you need to know your entire network when you're first starting out. Growing your network is meeting new people and having them become part of your network. It's not about just trying to think that, oh, I know everybody, so that's how I become a photographer. You have to meet everybody, and then they can book you as a photographer. You're much more likely to book someone who already knows you than someone who has no idea who you are and has just seen your work online before. They want to book a person. They want to book a human being. And I know this isn't exactly a job as a photographer, it's an instructor job. But one of the people that I met at this job at this party ended up being the dean of the university. And I just didn't think, or the college, I guess, I'm not sure if it's a university. Americans use a different terminology for college and university, and I think here in Canada we kind of just blanket the term, unless you're in Quebec where college is like cégep, which is 2 years after high school, but credits 1 year of university, and I don't know, they're always trying to be different. But for this specifically, yeah, I had a dean come up to me and was just sent an email a few weeks later, I guess went through my stuff, realized that, oh, okay, well, he's clearly doing the thing, he knows what he's doing, let's reach out, asked me to teach this class. At first, I was petrified. I am still petrified. First classes start on Wednesday, and this video is probably going to come out on Thursday. So I'm going to try to add in at least a little clip of me after the first day of classes just to show you guys how I'm currently super nervous. So hopefully I can add in a clip right here that tells me that tells you guys that actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Just be prepared.
That was fun.
We'll see. But right now it's a very interesting thing to be able to give the knowledge that I was self-taught and picked up from other YouTubers, and a whole lot of trial and error, and even more errors, and a whole lot of mistakes, and then a few more mistakes, and then some failures, and then some more failures. And now I'm here. So it's pretty neat to see this kind of come full circle so that I can teach beginner photographers more mistakes. And I'm very excited. Well, so just jokes aside, I am very excited for the ability to give my personal experience to beginning photographers. I learned from doing. I didn't learn from reading books and understanding every little exposure triangle thing. I put my camera in manual mode and I took pictures until they looked good. And that was about it. Same thing with flashes. There is no like, if you put your flash like this and you set it at this power, it's always going to work this good. You just got to try it and you got to play with it and you got to keep trying and playing with it. I shoot tethered 99% of the time. You know how easy it is to shoot as a photographer nowadays? We have live view, we have tethered computers.
I'm a computer.
If you're shooting a wedding on film and you don't know if you got the kiss until 3 weeks later, that's a nightmare. That's a very scary situation. And we don't live in that situation anymore. So I think teaching photography and being a beginner photographer nowadays is quote unquote easier than ever because we have the ability to just make mistakes constantly. I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes nowadays. You're obviously going to still be making mistakes, but that's a good thing. Mistakes are not failure. Not making mistakes is failing. Trying to be comfortable and always doing the same thing over and over again, that's failing. That's being stagnant. So I think what I really want to teach these people and what I really want to be able to equip as knowledge to these photographers is that you have to try. You have to constantly be pushing yourself and making those mistakes. I'm not going to fail you for making a mistake. I'm going to fail you for not trying. You can use this as a viewer of this channel as much as my students will, but keep trying, keep failing, keep making those mistakes. That's what got me this luxurious basement studio. It can get you whatever it is that you want as well. I'm very excited for this position, even though I am terrified, because I do think it's going to make me a better photographer. It's going to make me more understanding of the different levels that people are at. It's going to make me more understanding of the level that I'm at and the ability to market myself to the people around me. I was not born a photographer. I was not born a teacher. I didn't know any of these things. I didn't know any of these people. But obsessing over this craft that is photography and obsessing over this camera and what it could give me has given me everything that I have and is going to continue giving me this entire life that I have. So I think if you are a beginner, if you're just starting out in your journey, if you see this as a way to take pretty pictures and maybe make a couple bucks on the side every now and then, I just want you to know that it can give you everything that you want. It can give you the entire life that you want to live. It can give you the impact to the community and the people around you. You just have to give it time and you have to want it a whole lot more than most people around you for a whole lot longer. There's no blueprint, so to speak, because your story is going to be different than mine. But I do think that you can also have this career as a photographer if that's something you want for yourself. And if you never want to teach, that's totally fine too. I'm just saying that I didn't know what I was doing and I've made it to here. And I feel like I know a little bit of what I'm doing now. So if I can help them take one step forward, then it's probably already a good sign. This channel will not change in uploads. I will still be uploading twice a week. I don't think this class will necessarily take away from that. What I think will change with this channel, with YouTube, or with my relationship with YouTube because of this job or because of this opportunity for me, is going to be my understanding of beginners and my understanding of where different people are at in their photography. The more I can understand that, the better I will be as a photographer, the more I'll understand where I am as a photographer and where my place is as an educator within this field, this realm. There's a bit of imposter syndrome in that we always all feel like we don't know anything. Because there's just so much to know. So it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm an absolute expert. I know everything about anything. Like, that's not the case at all. I know what I know, but I don't know everything. So hopefully I can just teach them what it is that I know. If you don't have any of this imposter syndrome and you do feel like you know everything, then you're probably going to be in one of my classes eventually because you're very much a beginner as well. So yeah, it's just an update video I guess I really wanted to make because of this pretty interesting opportunity that fell on my lap. And if you grow your network, you can continue having a career as a photographer, much more so than if you grow your technical ability as a photographer. I don't know everything about photography, and I'm going to teach people how to take pictures. So hopefully I know enough, but I don't need to know everything, and neither do you. I go into every shoot with any regular client hoping I get better, because if I think I know everything, then I'll never get better, and I'll never make it. I wouldn't have made it where I am, and I wouldn't have made it to the knowledge that I have if I thought I already knew that knowledge. I don't know how to end this video. If you're still watching, thank you. Leave a comment telling me I'm still watching, and thanks. I will heart it and maybe make a joke about it, and we'll go from there. I don't know. Thanks for watching again. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Later.
Oh, hell no. What's up, dawg?